Good evening, students. Already we discussed about that genetic inheritance, which comes under the botany. In zoology side, we discussed about the immunology chapter. That thing comes under the human health and diseases. Today, we are going to discuss about body fluids and circulation. This is the second chapter in zoology in class program. So body fluids and circulation. So what's the meaning of body fluids? So many times I told to you, first we have to see the literal meaning and we should understand what is the chapters we are going to discuss it. So clear. So what's the meaning of body fluids? Fluids, human body means you know very well that whole body, that is called as a body. And fluids. So we are going to discuss about the human body fluids and circulatory systems only. So fluids means, what's the meaning of fluid? Why that we have to study that chapter? That is present in our syllabus. That's why we are studying. That is also important. But after completion of your NEET, you are going to study the MBBS. After that, you have to practically, you are going to give a medicine for some patients. So that body fluids and circulation, how it normally functioned, then only you can easily understand in case how normally it functions. You should know the first natural things. After that only, in case any problem is there, any circulatory system is affected by someone, means at that time you can easy to give a you can rectify some things through the medicines. So the topic is important one. So body fluids and circulation. So body fluids means liquid like things, like this, for example, tissue fluids, blood, those are the some fluid like things, liquid like things, semi-solid or liquid, which is called as a fluids. So body fluids means any fluids found within animals, include human being, which includes the lymph, tissue fluids, tissue fluids, urine, bile, and blood, and etc. Those are considered as a body fluids. So we are going to discuss in this chapter what are the body fluids are present in our human body. How much quantity of body fluids are present in our human body? That thing we are going to discuss it. Next one is a circulatory system. Circulatory system means so many nutrients. Nutrients are present in our body. That nutrients should be circulated. The nutrients should be transported from one to another places. Simultaneously, that waste and harmful products also produced by the cells. That waste and harmful products also have be removed. So that nutrients or oxygen or maybe a water molecules, everything should be transported from one to another place within the human body. Same time that waste or a harmful substance also should be produced by the cells, which is also excreted, removed continuously. Then only we can avoid the harmful effects. So that circulation of that nutrients and that removal of the waste one, that thing is done by the circulatory system. That thing is done by the circulatory system. So system which transport materials like a nutrient, gases, hormones, and etc. etc. 2 minutes, ma. So, system which transport the nutrients, gases, hormones, oxygen, etc., etc. It will be transported from the various parts of the body and remove the waste materials from the body cells. Is known as a circulatory system. Is known as a circulatory system. So that nutrient materials, hormones, oxygens, and etc. and waste materials, everything should be everything should be transported. Useful products should be transported. Waste material should be removed. That thing is circulated by the one system. That is system is called as a circulatory system. That more complex organisms, blood and lymph are used to transport such materials. We will discuss one by one. The first important thing is important body fluid is blood. Most important body fluid is blood. Blood consists of two fluids. What are they? First one is plasma. First one is a plasma. Second one is a blood cells. So plasma is a fluid. Plasma is a fluid. Blood cells are a formed elements. Blood cells are a formed elements. The formed elements means erythrocytes, leukocytes, and thrombocytes. So blood cells are fluid connective tissues. That's plus the blood having the special function of conductions and oxygen. Everything will be transported from the one to another places, which consists of two components. What are the components? Means that plasma and formed elements. I mean the blood cells. The blood cells and plasmas are two components, two important components of a blood. We will discuss one by one. The first one is a plasma. So plasma is straw-colored viscous. Plasma is straw-colored viscous fluids constituting nearly 55% of the blood. 55% of a blood. The 90 to 92% of plasma is water. Approximately up to 90% of plasma is a watery substance, and protein contributes only the 6 to 8% of it. Clear? So among that 100%, that mostly up to 90% water substance only present in the blood, remaining 6 to 8% only proteins. Plasma contains of three classes of proteins. Plasma contains of three classes of proteins. What are they? Means fibrinogen, globulins, and albumins. Fibrinogen, globulins, and albumins. So fibrinogens are needed for the clotting of blood or a coagulation of blood. So fibrinogens are a clotting or a factors which is involved in the clotting or a coagulation of a blood. Second one is globulins. Second one is globulins. So globulins are primarily involved in the defense mechanism of the body. Globulins are majorly involving in the defense mechanism of body. Plasma contains small amount of minerals. Plasma contains a small amount of minerals like sodium ions, calcium ions, magnesium ions, hydrocarbons, chlorines, or etc. Those are called as inorganic ions. Those are called as inorganic ions. So which are present in only the very little bit quantities, small amounts of the minerals, inorganic compounds also present like calcium, sodium, magnesium, chlorine, and etc. Some organic compounds also present in the plasma, approximately 0.1%. The glucose, amino acids, lipids also present in the plasma. They are present in trace quantity only. Glucose, amino acids, lipids all present in the plasma, and they are always in transit in the body. Always transit in the body. Factors for coagulation are clotting of factors, which is also present in the plasma in inactive form, which is present inactive forms. We will discuss later in blood coagulation part. Plasma without clotting factors, which is called as a serum. So you should understand, ma, that question is important one. Without clotting factors in plasma, which is called as a serum. Which is called as a serum. Because after coagulation, blood coagulation, the blood will be present in the bottom, in upper layer, the supernatant having the yellowish or straw colored liquid things present in the supernatant in the upper portion after clotting of blood. So that is called as a serum. So the plasma without clotting factor is called as a serum. Cannot coagulate it. That's why which is called as a serum. Next one is formed cells. I mean blood cells. So blood cells are three types. What are they? Erythrocytes, leukocytes, and platelets. That formed blood cells are present in the plasma cells, which is called which is also known as formed elements. That erythrocytes, leukocytes, and platelets are formed elements are also known as the blood cells. We'll discuss one by one. The first one is erythrocytes. First one is erythrocyte. Erythro means red. Cytes means cell. Cytocytes means cell. So erythrocytes means which is called as red color blood cells. Red color blood cells. That which is also called as red blood cells or red blood corpuscles. RBC. Erythrocytes, which is also known as red blood cells, which is the most abundant of all cells in blood. So in blood, having the so many formed elements are present. It among that one, that RBC is present in the abundantly. RBC is present in the abundantly in blood. Base in healthy adult man has an average 5 million to 5.5 millions of RBC, millimeter cube of blood. That's much quantity of blood erythrocytes are present in a human blood. That RBCs are formed in the red bone marrow in adults. Kindly note it, RBCs are formed where? In red bone marrow. Red bone marrow. That's why it's look like a red in color, and the eryth also present it, red bone marrow in the adult one. That RBCs are a large microscopic cells without nuclei in mammals. RBCs are a large where in microscopic cells without nucleus in mammals. Except camel. Kindly note it, except camel. That erythrocytes are a red colored iron containing complex protein is called as a hemoglobin, which is present in the erythrocytes. So erythrocytes, what is the meaning of hemoglobin? Which is a red colored iron containing complex protein. Red colored iron containing complex protein is called as a hemoglobin. That is important. Kindly note it. Red colored iron containing complex protein is called as a hemoglobin. The healthy individuals has a 12 to 16 grams of hemoglobin in every 100 ml of blood. The healthy individuals should have 12 to 16 grams of hemoglobin in every 100 ml of blood. It is a vary. Approximately that the male means maximum hemoglobin should be present at up to 16 grams. In female means 13 to 14 of that is a hemoglobin content should be present in the female one. So those molecules play a significant role in transport of respiratory gases. That hemoglobin molecules are play an important role in the transport of respiratory gases. You know very well that commonly that hemoglobin also carries the oxygen. So that's why which is called as the oxygen boat. In case any defect is found in the hemoglobin, it cannot able to carry. Otherwise, in case the shape is differed, for example, in sickle cell anemia, that hemoglobin becomes a sickle shaped. So it cannot, it can transfer, but oxygen transport level will be reduced up to 50%. Clear? So that hemoglobin should be a normal one. That RBC have a average lifespan of 120 days, of a 120 days, after which they are destroyed in the spleen. So average lifespan is that is important. Average lifespan is 120 days. The next one is leukocytes. Next formed elements is leukocytes. Leukocytes also called as white blood cells, because you know very well that two kind of blood cells are available. One is RBC cells, another one is WBC cells. That RBC is important for the hemoglobin and hemoglobin, oxygen transport and blood level, anemic, everything determined by the RBC. The second one is the WBC. WBC is called as a white blood cells, white blood corpuscles, which is responsible for the defense mechanism. Clear? So leukocytes also called as a white blood cells. That is a important one, shortly known as a WBC. Which the colorless WBC. White is a colorless one. Colorless one. So that leukocytes also colorless due to the lack of hemoglobin. If a hemoglobin is present, means that is a red in color. Here there is no hemoglobin. So the WBC is a colorless one. So WBCs are nucleated and relatively lesser in number. WBC are nucleated and relatively lesser in number, which averages 6,000 to 8,000 millimeter cube of blood. That is the range. Leukocytes are generally short-lived. Leukocytes are generally short-lived. That two main categories of WBC. There are granulocytes and agranulocytes. Those are the two important major category of WBC, granulocytes and agranulocytes. So granulocytes, we'll discuss one by one. The first one is the agranulocytes. Agranulocytes means a neutrophil, eosinophil, basophils are different types of granulocytes. Neutrophil, eosinophil, basophil are different types of granulocytes, while the lymphocytes and monocytes are agranulocytes. Lymphocytes and monocytes are agranulocytes. Kindly note it. It may ask in your Neet exam, what are the examples of agranulocytes or examples of granulocytes. Neutro, eosinophils and basophils are granulocytes. Agranulocytes is lymphocytes and monocytes. Next one is a neutrophil. So neutrophil is a bilobed nucleus. Kindly note it. Neutrophils are a bilobed. In structure wise, it consists of a lobe-like structure that is called as a bilobed nuclei. Bilobed nucleus. Which most abundant cells of a total WBC. And the basophils are least one. Up to 60 to 65% of neutrophils are present in WBC, but 0.5 to 1% of basophils are present in the WBC. The next one is the neutrophils and monocytes. It has a 6 to 8%. 6 to 8% of neutrophils and monocytes are present. The phagocytic cells which destroy the foreign organism. That neutrophils and monocytes are phagocytic cells. Kindly note it. Neutrophils and monocytes are phagocytic cells, which is involving in the enhelping process, supporting for the cell-mediated immunity. Neutrophils and monocytes are phagocytic cells which destroy the foreign organisms entering the body. That is a function of neutrophils and monocytes, approximately 6 to 8% of present. That monocytes are the largest among the all type of leukocytes with rounded nucleus. So that question also may be asked in Neet. Monocytes are a largest organism. Largest blood cells. Monocytes are a largest blood cells amongst the all types of nucleosides. Among the all type of nucleosides. So in the nucleosides, monocytes are a largest one, which is a rounded nucleus, which having the nucleus. The next one is a basophils. Basophils can secrete the histamine, serotonin, heparin, etc. So the question may be asked like this. Serotonin is secreted by the following cells. Options are a basophil. Next one is a RBC. Next one is a neutrophils. Your answer is a basophils. Clear. So basophils can secrete the histamine, serotonin, and heparin, etc., which are involved in the inflammatory reactions. The basophils also involved in the inflammatory reactions. The basophils are 0.5 to 1% of basophils are present. It is the least amount of WBC. It's the least quantity of basophils are present in the WBC amongst the another blood cells. The next one is the lymphocytes. Sorry, before that we should know that eosinophils. Eosinophils are resist infections and they also associated with the allergic reactions. So eosinophils, that is an important Neet question. Eosinophils, which formed cells, which formed elements are responsible for the allergic reactions, or which blood cells are related to the allergic reactions. So the answer is eosinophils. So eosinophils are resist infections. The eosinophils are also associated with the allergic reactions. Approximately 2 to 3% of eosinophils are present. 2 to 3% of eosinophils are present. The next one is a lymphocytes. Approximately 20 to 25%. 20 to 25% of lymphocytes are present. It having the two major types. What are they? One is a B lymphocytes, another one is a T lymphocytes, which is called as a T forms and a B forms. So in immunological class, we already discussed the lymphocytes are only the two types. One is a T form, means a T lymphocytes, another one is a B form. B form means a B lymphocytes. The two lymphocytes are responsible for immunity, antibody-mediated immunity or a cell-mediated immunity. The both T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes are responsible for the immune response of the body. Important for the immune response of the body. The T helper cells also helps to the B cells to secrete the antibody. The next one is platelets. Next one is platelets. The platelets are called thrombocytes. The platelets are called thrombocytes. It is important one. Kindly note it. The platelets are called thrombocytes. The thrombocytes are fragments produced from the megakaryocytes. Megakaryocytes means the special cells in the bone marrow. Megakaryocytes are special cells in the bone marrow. So platelets are thrombocytes. Kindly note it, important one. The thrombocytes are cell fragments which is produced from the megakaryocytes. Means special cells of bone marrow. The blood normally consists of 1,50,000 to 3,50,000 platelets millimeter per millimeter. The platelets can release the variety of substances, most of which are involved in the coagulation of blood blood clotting. So the platelets only releases the so many factors. That factors only involving the blood clotting process. The blood clotting is the most important one because if you get any accident, it means that blood should be clot immediately. Otherwise, blood loss will occur, which leads the death also. So blood clotting factors are important one. Then only it can clot the blood. That blood clotting substances are released by the platelets. That substances only involving in the clotting of a blood. The reduction of in their number lead to the clotting disorders, which will lead the excessive loss of blood from the body. A reduction in the number of blood clotting factor, which leads the clotting disorders. In case the platelets reduced quantity of blood clotting factors or substance are released, means it leads the clotting disorder. Clotting disorder. So if clotting disorder is occurs means just now I told excessive loss of blood from the body in case of any wound making, otherwise any accidental conditions, the excessive blood loss will be occurred, which causes a death also. Maybe cause a death also if excess level of blood is lost. The platelets having the lifespan of 9 to 10 days, about 1 week. Approximately we can say 1 week, 9 to 10 days. That is a lifespan of platelets. Next one is a thrombocytes. Next one is a thrombocytes. So thrombocytes also called as blood platelets. Thrombocytes also called as blood platelets, which is produced from the megakaryocyte, which is called, just now I told, here that nucleus, there is no nucleus in the thrombocytes. There is no nucleus in the thrombocytes. The next one is the coagulation of a blood coagulation process. Blood coagulation process or a blood clotting process. Here, the clotting of blood at the site of injury to prevent the hemorrhage from the damaged blood vessels. So, the particular organs got some injury due to any reasons, accidental or any reasons. So, that plates in that particular place, that blood should be clotted. Then only avoid the excessive blood loss. Excessive blood loss. Clear? So the clotting of blood at the at the site of injury to prevent the hemoglobin from the damaged blood vessel. That prevent the hemorrhage from the damaged blood vessels. That calcium ion play a important role in clotting. Kindly note it. Important question. The calcium ion play an important role in clotting. Which ions play an important role in clotting? Which ion? Calcium ion. Calcium ion play an important role in a blood clotting. Vitamin K also essential for the normal clotting. Vitamin K also essential for the normal clotting factor. The process of blood clotting, blood clotting process. The first one, that the cell may get injured. Then simultaneously that blood platelets also released. Blood platelets also released the platelet factor 3. That platelet factor 3 is called as the platelet thromboplastin. Platelet thromboplastin. That injured tissues releases the thromboplastin. That injured tissues releases the thromboplastin. Thromboplastin. The thromboplastin and the platelet factor 3 combinedly produces the thrombokinase, which is an enzyme released from the damaged cells. Thrombinase is an enzyme. Thrombinase is an enzyme which is released from the damaged cells. That platelet converts the prothrombin into. That enzymes can convert the prothrombin into thrombin. Prothrombin into thrombin. So that prothrombin, which prothrombin means which is made up of a vitamin K in the liver. Prothrombin is made up of a vitamin K in the liver. The prothrombin is a protein in plasma. Prothrombin is a protein in plasma which is converted the active thrombin, which is converted the active thrombin. So kindly note it, the prothrombin is a protein in plasma which is the convert the active prothrombin, inactive to the active prothrombin. That thrombin, prothrombin into the thrombin. The thrombin is a natural enzyme. What is the thrombin means? The thrombin is a natural enzyme. It is a natural enzyme. That natural thrombin enzyme of blood which is converts the fibrinogen into fibrin. So fibrinogen is a soluble form. Fibrinogen is a soluble form which is converted into the insoluble form, which is called as a fibrin. So prothrombin is a natural enzyme which converts the fibrinogen, means a soluble form. The fibrinogen is a soluble form which is converted into the fibrin. Fibrin is a insoluble form. Insoluble form. So after fibrin conversion, which is undergoes the polymerization process, forms fibrin, which forms the fibrin thread, which trap the RBC, platelet factors, and plasma to form the clot. Clotting is called as a thrombin. That polymerization as a result forms the fibrin thread. Polymerization means a combined together. It is called as a polymerization. That fibrin undergoes a polymerization. As a result, fibrin thread will formed. That fibrin thread trap the RBC, platelet factor, and plasma to form the blood clotting. So blood clotting means a semi-solid connective tissues that rapidly stop the bleeding and provides the cell necessary for wound healing. So clotting means a semi-solid connective tissue that rapidly stop the bleeding of blood. Then only we can save our health, which also provides the cells necessary for the wound healing. That whole process is called as the blood clotting. So calcium and vitamin K, that is important one, already told, which is essential for the blood clot, which is essential or play an important role in the blood clotting factor. This is the important one. So that's all about the blood clotting. In blood clotting side, we may expect any one questions. Surely any one questions will ask from the blood cells in from the body fluids. Surely any one questions. Any one or two questions surely will comes from the blood body fluids or a blood clotting one. The next one is the Abo blood grouping. Next one is the Abo blood grouping. So Abo blood grouping were the first to be discovered. Abo blood grouping is the first to be discovered. That Abo blood grouping is discovered by the Landsteiner. Abo blood grouping is discovered by the Landsteiner. So the Abo blood groups are present in the human beings. Abo blood grouping is based on the presence or absence of two surface antigens. Abo blood grouping is based on the presence or absence of two antigens. Two antigens. Antigens means chemicals that can induce the immune response. Chemicals can induce the immune response. So Abo blood grouping will be determined based on the two antigens on the RBCs named as antigen A and antigen B. Similarly, the plasma of different individuals also contain the two natural antibodies. One is the proteins produced in response to the antigens. The proteins produced in response to the antigens. The distribution of that antigens antibodies are four groups. The distribution of antigen and antibodies are four groups. What are the four blood groups? So based on the antigen antibody, we'll distribute the four kind of blood groups. What are they? A blood group, B blood group, AB blood group, and O blood group. A blood group, B blood group, and when both are combined at the time, it forms a AB blood group and O blood group, absence of all antigens, which is considered as a O blood group. Clear? So in the blood group A, what are the antigen is present in A blood group? A antigen. Antibodies in plasma of A blood group. I mean the serum. Anti-B will be present in the A blood group. Clear? Similarly, if blood group is a person containing a B blood group means that the B blood group consists of the same antigens. I mean a B antigen on RBC will be present it. Similarly, that anti-sera, I mean that antibodies in plasma of a B blood group persons are anti-A. So B blood group consists of anti-A antibodies. Similarly, AB blood group consists of the AB antigens, but there is no antibodies in the AB blood group. Kindly note it. AB blood group having the AB antigens, but there is no antibodies. Similarly, O blood group persons, there is no antigens found in the O blood group persons. Similarly, antibodies, anti-A and anti-B antibodies are present in the O blood groups. Anti-A and anti-B. Anti-A and anti-B is anti-A and anti-B antibodies in plasma, which is present in the O blood group persons. So kindly note it. AB blood group persons having the AB antigens, but there is no antibodies in AB blood group. But in the case of B blood group persons having the anti-A and the anti-B antibodies in their plasma, but there is no antigens in a O blood group. Clear? So donor group also, if a person is A blood group means donor group is A and O. A and O. That A blood group persons can receive the A blood group and AB blood group. A blood group and AB blood group. Similarly, surely that any one questions we may expect from the blood group section also. B blood group also. B blood group persons can donate their blood to the B and O blood groups, and the B blood group persons can receive the blood groups from the B and AB, and AB blood group persons can donate both AB blood group persons, A blood group persons, B blood group persons, and O blood group persons. So AB blood group persons can donate to the AB, A, B, and O. But AB blood group persons can receive the blood group from the AB blood group persons only. AB blood group persons can receive the AB blood groups only. Finally, that O blood group persons can donate O blood group person only. But the O blood group persons can receive the bloods from the O blood group person, A blood group person, B blood group person, and AB blood group person. Listen now, O blood group persons can receive the blood groups from the O blood group person, A, B, and A, B, and AB blood group persons. Hence, the O blood group individuals are called universal donors. Universal donors. The persons with the AB blood groups are called universal recipients. So kindly note it. In AB blood grouping, important questions are who discovered the AB blood grouping? Landsteiner, which is present in the human beings. That AB blood grouping is first to be discovered. That is the important point. And who is a universal donor? Universal donor is a O group. Universal recipient are a AB blood group. That is the important one. Similarly, in antibodies present in the antibody, which antibody is present in the which blood group? That is the important thing. Similarly, which antigens are present in the which blood group? You have to concentrate more in those specific topics. Clear? So similarly, the natural antibodies are formed by the genetic control. Means anti-A and anti-B. Which is that anti-A and anti-Bs are present in the plasma. That antibodies A and antibodies are B, which is present in the found in the plasma only. RH antibodies, RH is not RH antibodies are not a natural antibody, but antibody A and antibodies are naturally found in the blood plasma, which is a naturally found, which is formed by the genetic control. That natural antibody, anti-A and antibodies are formed by the genetic control. This is a blood grouping: A blood group, B blood group, AB blood group, and O blood group. But RH factors, which is called as a RH grouping. RH grouping. So RH grouping is a important one because that RH only determining the whether the blood group is a positive. That RH Abo blood grouping is discovered in the year of 19,000, but in the RH blood group is discovered in the year of 1940. So after the discovery of AB blood groups, after the 40 years laterally, the discovery of ABO blood group, RH factors are find out. So after the 1940 only, they are used to the positive blood group or negative blood group. That RH grouping is a rhesus systems. Rhesus systems is R means a rhesus system is discovered by the Landsteiner and Wiener. in the year of 1940. 1940. Blood group is discovered by the Landsteiner, but RH system was discovered by the Landsteiner and Wiener in the year of 1940. The antigen, that RH factor only determine whether the blood group is positive or negative. That already we discussed in the immunological part also. In specifically we discussed in the agglutination, because Abo blood grouping testing is based on the agglutination reaction. Abo blood grouping test is based by the agglutination interactions between the antigen and the antibody. So antigens, I mean the RH antigens similar to the one present in rhesus monkeys, hence which is called as a RH. Why which is called as a RH means that RH antigens similar to the RH monkeys. RH, I mean that RH means rhesus monkeys, which is observed on the surface of the RBC of majority. Majority means 80% of RH antigens are present in the surface of RBCs of rhesus monkey and humans. Such individuals are called as a RH positive. Those antigens are absent, that are rhesus antigens, I mean RH antigens. If the RH antigens are absent, which is considered as a negative, that RH is present means which is considered, that blood groups are considered as a positive one. Clear? So RH is present, positive blood group, RH is absent, that is called as a RH negative. The special case, RH incompatibility. RH incompatibility. What's the meaning of incompatibility? Means nothing. Simply we can say mismatching. So special case, RH incompatibility has been observed between the RH negative blood group of pregnant mother with the RH positive blood group of a fetus. That is called as a mismatching one. So mother is positive, fetus is a negative. Mismatching, I mean the incompatibility which is observed between the negative blood group of a mother and the positive blood group of a fetus. That RH antigens of fetus does not expose to the RH negative blood group of a mother in the first pregnancy. In the first pregnancy, yes, two bloods are well separated by the placenta. Kindly listen carefully. That RH antigen of a fetus does not expose to the RH negative blood group of mother. RH negative blood group of mother, which is RH negative blood group of mother in the first pregnancy. The two bloods, I mean that the fetal bloods and the mother bloods, which are separated by the placenta. That's why that it is not interacted on. That's why the fetus blood group is different, mother blood group is a different one. However, during the delivery of first child, the possibilities of exposure of the maternal blood to some small amounts of RH positive blood group from the fetus. Listen carefully, that during the delivery of the first child, there is possibility of exposure of the maternal blood to the small amount of RH positive bloods from the fetus. In such cases, mother starts preparing the antibodies against the RH antigens in her blood. In case of that subsequent pregnancies, that RH antibodies from the mother can leak into the blood of fetus, I mean RH positive, and destroy the fetus RBCs. That could be fetal to be the fetus or could cause the severe anemia and jaundice to the baby. That condition is called as a erythrobetalysis, fetalysis, erythroblastosis, fetalysis. I think you know very well. It is an important question also, I think, in your school days. So here also you should know what is the meaning of a erythroblastosis, fetalysis. Just now I explained. So that can be avoided by the administrating of anti-RH antibodies to the mother immediately after the delivery of the first children. So it will be avoided by the administrating of anti-RH antibodies to the mother immediately after the delivery of a first child. So that's all about the ABO grouping and the RH grouping. So today, what are the things we discussed? First one is blood fluids. So what's the meaning of blood fluids? What are the blood fluids are present it? So we discussed what's the meaning of blood fluids and gave small intro about what's the meaning of circulation. We discussed about what's the meaning of blood and blood components, means plasma and blood cells. Blood plasma we discussed, and blood cells, erythrocytes, we discussed about the erythrocytes, leukocytes and platelets, and we also discussed about the other cells also, like neutrophils, monocytes, eosinophils. Finally, we discussed about the lymphocytes. In continually, we discussed about the blood clotting and blood clotting factor. Finally, we discussed about the Abo blood grouping and RH grouping. So kindly recall it. Just now I told from the blood cells, Abo blood grouping and blood clotting side, surely one or two questions may be asked in a NEET exams. So tomorrow we are going to discuss about the lymph and the circulatory systems, human circulatory systems and the circulatory paths. And cardiac cycles and blood pressure. Those are the topics tomorrow we are going to discuss it. So times are going. Today date is June 18th. You have a few days only. So kindly prepare well for NEET. All the very best for preparation. Thank you, students. Tomorrow we will meet. Day after tomorrow, sorry. Monday we will meet in the next class with the circulatory system. Thank you, students.